Everyone. I am am I echoing? Did I just hear a weird echo? Did you hear that, Dr. Soap?
Um, I don't think so. Do you do
Okay.
you do you think I have one?
No, I maybe it was my reverb or whatever it's called where it comes back in my ear, but I'm like, oh my god, my own voice. Like, good morning, everyone. Let's try this again.
Yeah.
We are going to talk about. I'm going to do my top 5 here in a few minutes. We're going to talk about Johnny Depp. We're going to talk about things that are going on in current pop culture. How are you today, Dr. Soup?
I'm doing well. Sorry, one sec. I'm here seeing that I have an echo. By the way, okay, I could have a brief echo. I see people in the chat are saying because I'm in a different room. I don't know if that has to do with it. I'm in a more like echoey room, but
Aha.
I don't think. Do you hear like the echo of the stream at all?
No, I don't. I mean I hear like a little like maybe you're in a empty room with like nothing that the sound can bounce off of, but nothing
Right.
like terrible.
Yeah, because I'm like trying to anyway, I'm trying to renovate this room. But anyway, yeah, I think we're good. But yes, I'm doing good. I'm excited to be here. It's gonna be a fun chat. It's been a while since we've done this because I know you were on the charity stream with me, but we did
Yes.
a live stream a while ago, I think.
Yeah, it has been a while. And hello Hooded Justice. I'm hitting things and I'm pinning things and I don't know what I'm doing. Oh my gosh.
No problem.
There we go. Okay, now we're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. I promise. No more technical issues here. So I want to talk a little bit. We're gonna get into Johnny Depp from the expert herself,
Yeah.
but I want to do because I have been working. If you guys will notice on my channel, I am having a stream later with Merritt Michaels and Drew from Comics Elite, and that should be super fun. We are going to be launching. They are going to be launching rather a new Kickstarter. I helped with the trailer, and I am still
Ooh.
kind of kind of busting my butt to get it done. So what I'm going to do is normally today I do my top 5 books of the week. I want to go through them real quick just simply because I am going to clip it and be super lazy about it. So I apologize if nobody's here for that. I totally understand, but I just want to it's crunch time. It's crunch time with
I'm
this trailer.
I'm here for the books. That's why I came here. So I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. I'm so excited. So let's go through my top 5 and then we'll get to most of what everyone is mostly looking forward to. This week, oh my god. This week was like so good with comic books. This was really hard to pick because normally I have more indie titles in my top 5, but DC was really, really strong this week. And Dark Knights of Steel is definitely my number 5. It's issue number 3. It was basically learning more about this version of Supergirl who's super evil and killed a child in front of his father, like and killed a bunch of the metal men. And then we get to see some of the kind of politics between oh lightning's people and the Themysciran. So I really enjoyed Dark Knights of Steel 3. I think Tom Taylor's phenomenal. I know a lot of people, not a lot of people, few people disagree with me on that. Everything, and I almost put Son of Kal-El's 6 number here, but the thing is it's getting somewhere. It's finally getting somewhere, but it took 6 issues to finally get somewhere. So I'm holding off on that one. But it was really good. Everyone's like, "Shut up and get through it, lady."
No, no, no. I'm excited to like, even though I don't know everything about this, I'm excited to like hear about it because I inherited a bunch of like comics and stuff, and I know you're not just like talking about comics, but like I like hearing stuff about superhero related stuff that I have no idea about. You know?
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm so jealous. That's so cool. So for number 4, I have Suicide Squad number 11. That was super fun. I love seeing the other like multiversal versions of different characters, and we kind of got the DC version of Avengers versus the Suicide Squad, and it's really nice. And I am it's not me to likely say this, but as far as I love Harley Quinn, she's my favorite character ever, ever, ever. and it's really nice to not see her in the Suicide Squad. Like, it's nice to have somebody else front and center. We've got Bloodsport and Peacemaker front and center, obviously, because they are getting more popular, and the new James Gunn show comes out in like 3 days. I'm super excited. Have you had a chance to look at any of the trailers
for Peacemaker?
Yes.
I saw one, I think whenever that came out. I'm not as interested in it only because I honestly have been so busy, so I haven't really had time to get super interested in it. But I heard that people like it, like people have seen like early screenings or whatever they call it. That
it seems to be, yeah. It seems to be doing decent at least. And honestly, for DC at this point, I'll take decent.
Oh yeah, yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah,
and so the problem I have with that, did you see the Suicide Squad movie?
The recent one?
Yes.
Yes, and I thought it was decent, but I didn't think it was like amazing. You know what I mean? But I still didn't think it was bad.
Well, my problem is I thought it was amazing. I'm not gonna lie, and you'll hear my cats. I apologize.
No worries.
But Peacemaker, the character, is very irredeemable to me. So I'm curious to see how they're going to go through that journey.
That's actually what I was wondering too. Yeah, because his actions in that movie, I was like, wow. Like, I'm not going to spoil it for people who haven't seen it, but I know exactly where you're going with that.
Like the second one, I was like, oh hell no, I'm gonna take this guy out myself. Like, I'm curious. I think James can pull it off though. He's super talented. So for number 3, I have Arkham City Order of the World by Dan Watters. Super fun. I fucking love this book. I will talk about this book every single time it comes out. It is, Dan Watters needs more work. He is phenomenal. His Lucifer is phenomenal. I love Dan Watters. Now, with that being said, get somewhere with this book. Like, it did feel a little bit less crazy as the last ones, but it does, we're getting introduced to this new whoever's in control and able to make themselves this Arkham ghost. Love it. So number 2, Batman 119. I need to review Batman 118 and 119. Joshua Williamson is hitting it out of the park. It is so okay. I didn't hate Tinian's run on Batman, but I absolutely love the way Joshua Williamson is incorporating Batman Inc. And this feels, oddly enough, like the comparatively to the Superman Son of Kal-El annual, this is Lex Luthor. This is terrible, evil Lex Luthor, and I love it. So lastly, I have Noctura, Blackfoot Bill. Love Noctura. Love everything Scott Snyder does. And honestly, getting a origin for this character, because he is one of my favorite new villains. Like, he's so mysterious. He's literally just black, like not skin color, just black. And I love getting the origin for him. So yes, that is my spiel. I'm going to cut it. Thank you. And thank you everyone for your patience.
That's really interesting. So you said how many, like, is it comics and books you were listing, or just like books in general? Like, how many would you say you read like a month?
Oof. Easily 75.
Wow, that's awesome.
I read everything from DC except for about 3 titles and a lot of the indies. Sometimes the independent comics are so different and they take more chances. Whereas like they're afraid to kind of, with their big IPs, they don't want to put Batman out there and make it crazy because it's gotta make money on t-shirts and on movies and on toys and on Legos. But with the independent ones, it's fun to see where they'll go. Like with this Blacktop Bill, like he is a straight up masochist, and I kind of love it.
yeah. Very cool. Sorry, I thought there was a troll in the chat there for a second. Anyway, I'm sure the mods will take care of it if it is. But I got distracted. Sorry, I got distracted.
You're totally fine.
But yeah, that's really cool though that 75. Wow, I wish I was that productive. See, I like reading, but I read a ton all over the internet, like Wikipedia articles, stuff like that, which I
Mhm.
try to be careful because, anybody can edit Wikipedia stuff. But anyway, I just like reading random stuff all over the internet, not as much like books or comics.
Right.
But yeah,
I think my thing is I basically don't watch television. And if I watch anything, I watch YouTube or I listen to YouTube rather.
same.
Videos from people in the community and stuff. I don't watch
Mhm.
any movies, any television really whatsoever. I will be
Yeah,
watching Peacemaker, but
yeah,
generally I don't. It's just not my thing. I read. I
yeah. That's a good
I
that's a
love
good
it.
problem to have. That's a good problem to have for sure. I don't do a lot of TV watching as well, unless it's something that came out on like a streaming service, like you mentioned with Peacemaker. But yeah,
I'm definitely I know Superman and Lois is coming out too. I need to finish season 1 of that. And then a new show called Naomi is coming out. Have you checked out either one of those trailers?
I don't know what the second one is, but yeah, Superman and Lois. I've heard that was surprisingly good because isn't that on the CW?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, I've
Like
heard it's actually good.
it's it's really okay. So I didn't quite finish it yet,
Mhm.
but and that's how I am with TV shows. I it takes me I have to be super super into it or I'll just go and read. But it was very very good, like shockingly good for the CW. Now the CW is up for sale.
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, they never made any money. That's I we did a stream a while back. Um and we will be getting to that. I'll just finish this thought and then we'll go to that.
Yeah,
But
no problem.
we did a stream a while back to see, kind of as a community if get woke, go broke was a lie,
Okay.
it was a like a logical fallacy.
Yeah.
And for the most part, all of the reasons of the different properties that we talked about, it was like it really doesn't happen the way people say it does.
Right.
Except for maybe the CW. I don't know. It's just, I maybe just a little bit like maybe it also could be a lot of really really crappy writers. I don't know. I haven't looked too much into it, but whoa, yeah, it's not going good. And then they've got Naomi coming out, and people are already upset about that one because I I don't know, because she's a black girl. I don't. Okay, okay, sure. What a thing to get upset about. Okay. Anyways, so what's been going? I haven't covered Depp as much because honestly, because people do it better. That's what I'm gonna tell you. That when it comes to the court documents and stuff, I cover the main stuff, right? But when it comes to the court documents, there are a lot more people on the internet that are much more intelligent than me that can go through
Right.
those legal proceedings. So tell us some of the updates.
Yeah, well, first of all, it's funny because I actually have like so I've been looking at the recent stuff like since I want to say like yesterday I've been kind of trying to kind of brush up on it, but I've been a little bit out of the loop because there also wasn't as much going on. But so what I do know is there was a recent I think that the documents for Johnny Depp's deposition, correct me if I'm wrong in the chat guys, but they came out and he said something like he would not go back to make another Pirates movie, even if they paid him $300 million. And then he mentioned something really funny about like alpacas or something. I don't.
What?
Yeah, I
I'm gonna
don't
have to look
know.
at those today.
Yeah, let
I
me.
kind of don't blame him. Would you want to see him back in that role?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I actually have the document here. It said $300 million and a million alpacas. That's really funny. No, I don't want to because I feel like the damage has already been done. You can only treat someone so poorly to the point where they're probably not going to want to have anything to do with you anymore. If I was him, I would not be associating with them at all. And I'm really glad to hear that that's his stance on it. I'm not sure what you think.
Well, I honestly like that's a big IP. He did
Yeah.
there would be no Captain Jack Sparrow without Johnny. There would be no one that could play that role the same. With that
Yes.
being said, he is so much better than how he's been treated by Disney, period.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like, there is no reason. Okay, obviously, he's well off enough that he wouldn't have to go back. It's not like he would go without dinner. That being
Yeah.
said, $300 million is a lot of money and everybody
Yeah.
has a price,
Yeah.
but I don't think he should. I don't think he should give them because sure, he'll profit, but Disney's going to
Yes.
profit 10 times as much.
Right. And I completely agree with that. I feel the same way about that. He's not really missing out on a whole lot because like you said, he's going to be able to afford his food. He's going to be able to, live comfortably and stuff like that. And then another thing that happened pretty recently was so Amber, she got a dog, or we don't know for sure if it's
I
her
hate
dog.
this.
Did you see that?
Yes.
What the
Didn't
heck?
she named it Barnaby Joyce?
Yes, and I'm like, why would you do that? I even tweeted about it because I've been using Twitter less, but I was like, all right, it says a
Smart
lot
girl.
about you that just about every screw within your being is loose if you want to name, a dog after the person who held you or accountable or responsible for the things that you did. Like, this woman is not okay.
Oh no, for sure. But I'm not gonna lie, it made me chuckle. Like,
It
that was kind of funny, but like,
is.
oh, is that her third dog? Doesn't she have two other little one? Like, I don't. What are they like? Ankle
Yorkies?
biters? Yeah, something real
Yes,
small.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, so we think that they passed away or
Oh,
I
wait,
think
hold on. Why
yeah.
did she just get a dog? Didn't she just get a kid?
Great point. And I like the way you said, didn't she just get a kid? Because it seems like she got it off of Amazon, doesn't it?
Yeah, I haven't. I mean, there's barely anything with it. Like,
Yeah.
even when I check her Instagram, because I probably do it more than a sane person should, and like, just because of making videos and stuff. But like, what that should be your focus, right? Like,
100%, and I'm with you on that. Like she has so many things that she just doesn't need. Yeah, like she just got a child, and now she has a dog, which I'm assuming is maybe a puppy, even though it's kind of big. So I don't know how she has time to take care of either of them because she's clearly more, focused on herself. And I also want to say, as someone who recently got a puppy, I have an 8 month old puppy. He
oh,
makes my life interesting and stressful at the same time and good, but he also is a lot of work. That's where I'm going with that. So I don't know how she has a newborn baby and a puppy at the same time, or a dog, either way. You know what I mean? Like, that just seems like so much work to put into two living beings. I'm so confused why she would do this, because she doesn't care about anyone except for herself.
yeah. That is very odd to me. I didn't even think about it when I seen that article, but
Yeah.
uh, I gotta go look at her Instagram right now.
Go
Like,
ahead.
I gotta see if uh there's been more updates with the kid, just because I'm super nosy.
Go ahead. There's a recent post of her with the baby. I think because I haven't been on her before, like last week, I wasn't on her Instagram in a while because she has me blocked on Twitter, so I forget that I can see her Instagram.
Ooh, she's wearing mom jeans in that pants.
She has some really bad pictures because, like, every time something goes wrong in her life, she goes on Instagram and tries to brag about some throwback picture of herself. Have you ever noticed that?
Yes, but is this like honestly, did she purge this?
What
Like,
would you
I don't even the even the picture with her sister, she has
Yeah.
the baby's face cut off.
Yeah. I'm really confused. I don't
Mother
know
of the year right here.
what that's the best way to describe it. I don't know because she'll gladly show the photo of the baby, right? Like she'll gladly show its face visibly in
Right.
some pictures, but in this one she's covering it. So I don't know if she's doing it because she wants to make a statement and sort of
Keep her kid
like
out of it.
gaslight the viewers, you know? I don't know.
And that could be. And if it's because she wants to keep her kid hidden, I can
Yeah.
respect that. That's fine. But like,
Yeah.
don't show it off in one photo and then be like, just kidding, guys. Just kidding. Okay. All right. So yeah, Mother of the Year, clearly. Clearly.
It's so bizarre. It is. It's very bizarre. And I think when I last did a stream with you, we were actually talking about the baby because that was like the first around the time everybody first heard about it. And we were talking about how or I think you brought it up, you know, we don't know if she actually cares about this child. So that's what confuses me why she would be hiding its face because she doesn't seem like she could have feelings towards it. You know what I mean?
Like, let's be honest, when you go on someone's social media that's a parent, that is like, of course, everybody's a little narcissistic. They're gonna be like,
Yeah.
can I get a selfie? But they are clearly like, look at, little Tommy ate his first lemon. He look at little Billy ate, here's his first piss. Like, come on.
Right, right, right.
That just seems very, very weird to me. I don't like
It
if
is.
from the beginning she had never showed the child's face, then fine. But that's clearly not the and clearly she like sent a press conference out and shit. So like, oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, for sure. She also, I think it's this week. I could be wrong, but she's supposed to sit for her deposition, which I'm really excited to
Right.
hear about.
Oh my god, that's gonna be so entertaining. Just the circle talking, kind of like my debate last the other day. Just the circle talking, like, yeah, and then what with the subpoenas? I know we've got who did I cover? Was it Franco
Yeah, that was
and
a really
Musk?
good one. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No. I'm just trying to think of all the subpoenas we've seen so far. With her little time in Loverland or whatever you want to say. Like, why? Here's my question when it comes overall, not even any specifics. Why wasn't the detail put into the UK court case that it has been this time?
Yeah, I know. Well, they got it's crazy the amount of stuff in that case that they just like threw out. If there was something that was really useful for it, they'd be like, "Oh, let's just get rid of this. This could really incriminate Amber. Let's just throw
Right.
this away." So that was because I still haven't read the entire. I don't know if I guess transcript is the right way to describe it. The
Mhm.
entire like transcript of the verdict. That's what it was of the UK trial because it pissed me off so much. Did you go through the entire
Yeah.
thing?
Every single day.
Ah,
It was I would start, was it Nick Wallace?
yes.
He was putting it out. And
Mhm.
then I would go through and wake up every single morning and generally do like, okay, I want to do a comic book review. This will take me
Yeah,
an
yeah,
hour. I'll get this done real quick and then read line for line as it came out and go through it every day and summarize it at night. And
yeah.
honestly, it was really telling about how manipulative she is.
Oh yeah.
It was a lot of what I see from like the recent experiences. You get that circle talking, you get that victim complex where you told a lie so many times it almost becomes the truth to you. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think she has that very much for sure.
And then when it comes to like I was saying with new stuff in this compared to the last,
Hmm.
basically one big glaring mistake I think they made, and it is the same, it's still Benjamin Chew, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Hmm.
Just wanted to make sure.
Yep.
Um, a lot of it to me seems like okay, they took and they had the video link for the two officers.
Mhm.
and they only used the one. I think it was Sands, Melissa
Yes,
Sands.
Sands. Mhm.
And then they were just like, no, we don't need the second one. We know what
Yeah.
they're gonna say, but they didn't have the actual footage. That's where I have the disconnect. Where I'm like, why? What was the oversight there? Was there some sort of issue with getting it on time?
Right. I don't know, and that's my question too. I mean, this might sound like a really generic answer, but I don't know, is it just corruption, like somehow cuz there was just so excuse me, so much stuff that should have been in there that wasn't. And I know Cherry's going to quote that because she loves to quote the dirty things that unintentionally come out of my
I
mouth.
love it. That's hilarious. She does that to you. So wait, I'm so confused by this comment. Is the documentary out?
Oh, did you? Yeah, do you know about that?
I made a video that when they were doing them and they were saying hello, hello Tanya. Um, they were saying they were going to do it from both sides and it was going to be non-biased and I didn't know it came out. That was
It,
super quick.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So it did come out. I think it's been about 3 weeks now.
Oh my god, where have I been?
The thing is, it's really hard to find because I tried to get a trial for Discovery Plus to be able to see it. That way, they weren't getting my money, and I tried to get a free trial, but for some reason, it wasn't on there. I don't know what the problem was, but then someone in the community recorded the entire
That's
thing.
awesome.
And they put it on Instagram, and it's so funny. So you don't have to give them like the clicks and the watch time or revenue or whatever for it. But apparently, so Dan, come geek
Oh
some.
hell yeah. I'm
Yeah,
gonna totally find it today.
I'll send you it because it's yeah. I got someone sent me the link as well. It's on YouTube too. Yeah, that's so funny. But yeah, they used Dan from Come Geek Some. They used a clip of his video, and he was like, "I didn't consent to this. I wonder if I can get him in trouble for it." But I think it's a fair use thing, so they
Oh, I'm
can't.
sure. Well,
But
that's kind of cool though. Let's be real. That's kind of cool.
yeah, it is.
That's
But yeah.
actually really awesome.
Yeah, and I don't understand how these kinds of or organizations or companies have the resources to do good and put out a good documentary, but
Mhm.
then they choose to be stupid and put out a shitty one. It's so frustrating.
Well, okay. I never I didn't know it was going to be on Discovery Plus. But
Yeah.
knowing that now, I am not too sure it will be unbiased. Discovery
Oh
is
no.
buying Warner Brothers. Or
Yep.
it's a merger.
Hmm.
And well, Warner Brothers is in obviously Amber is in Aquaman. Or Aquaman 2.
Yep.
I don't know that I would trust it to be non-biased. It would be like Disney making one.
No, it's been confirmed, at least I think it's been confirmed that it's a lot of BS. Like there's some stuff where you're like, okay, maybe this person is trying, but then they add in a bunch of shit to it that's just biased. So yeah, I agree with you because I found out about that Warner Brothers thing not that long ago. I want to say like a month or two ago about how they own Discovery. Is that correct?
It's a merger. They're kind of working together. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, it's crazy. And apparently I thought there was like one or two more documentaries coming out about it. I'm
I
like,
thought
how
there was supposed to be
many?
3.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe one of them will actually be unbiased.
Yeah, you're cute.
Me?
Sorry.
I
Yeah,
know. I
I
know.
don't know
I'm
if that's
trying.
possible.
I don't believe it's going to
Not
be.
in today's climate, not in the social climate we live in. It's all even when it comes to not just situations like this, but even going to men's mental health, stuff like
Mhm.
that. Men are always generally overlooked, right? At least I don't know how long it'll last for, but if you
Mhm.
notice, like there's a huge celebration, even with comic book companies, like it's International Women's Day. We're gonna release a Wonder Woman book and we're gonna do this and that. They're like, International Men's Day? What's that? Oh, it's in November? I had no idea. Like when it comes to that kind of stuff, they just completely ignore it. and that also comes from a lot of the Me Too reactionary stuff.
Oh.
So I don't think there's going to be any sort of real unbiased truth there. We got Come Geek Some.
Hey, we were just talking about you, Dan. We were talking about you being in the Discovery documentary.
That is so cool. Honestly, like, I know it's kind of like weird, but congratulations. That's awesome.
Hey, it's free promotion. I think he feels
Exactly.
the same.
That's
Bad press
awesome.
is good press, I guess, right? Is that what they say? Or no press is bad
No press.
press?
Yeah, no press is bad. Or something
Something.
along those lines. We got it. Thought my ears were burning. That's right.
That's so
That is
fun.
really cool. I'm still waiting to get. Oh, they're getting back to you. That's crazy. I,
Yes.
I I would think it would fall under fair use, but I use clips. Like I use stock, but I also use like if I'm editing a Batman video about the
Mhm.
trailer, I use it and it's under fair use. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure how that would work, but yes, he's famous now. One from
Yes.
the community. That's so cool. I have you heard much from I know he's more on Twitter, so that's why I'm asking you. Incredibly average.
Yeah, so he every once in a while he'll put out a tweet. So he put out a tweet I want to say maybe 2 weeks ago,
Mhm.
but he does function on Twitter somewhat, but not really on YouTube, but I'm pretty sure he's staying away from YouTube for now due to all the legal stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally get it, but I would say I'm super thankful for that channel. Like
Oh yeah.
he's the one who opened up a lot of people's eyes and he did such a great job. Now it is being covered by quite a few of us, but like
Yeah.
he did an amazing job of people that didn't know what
Yes.
was going on. You don't hear if you're listening to mainstream media, you do not hear anything good towards Johnny Depp. Like, let's
No,
be real.
and you're right because I remember my YouTube channel, I think it was let me think, the summer of 2020 I created it. That was when like COVID was happening.
Oh
Um
yeah.
and
Oh
I
my god,
knew
it was that long ago. Oh my goodness. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
no, no worries. You're right though. It's crazy how this has been going on for so long. And I probably wouldn't have actually created a YouTube channel if it wasn't for that because I was sitting around just doing nothing. And I was like, okay, let me just do this video for fun. And then it ended up getting a good amount of views, and I was surprised. But so basically, I had known about this case for a little while, and I just remember when the audios came out, and I think it was Brian's video or Incredibly Average that I saw. And at first, I remember thinking that it was going to maybe be some like clickbait or something, because it almost sounded too good to be true because it was like Amber's admitting doing this. And when I heard it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is insane. Um, like she's actually admitting all of this stuff. And like you were saying, the fact that he took the time to do all this and make the audio clear, I just wonder what made him do that because me personally, I feel like I would have never thought to do something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and obviously he wanted people to be able to understand a little bit better. He want like
Yeah.
I have a hard time. I don't know if it's maybe because I'm older. Oh my god. But I have a hard time with that audio if I don't read it alongside a lot of not all of it, but
Yeah.
a good portion of it. And I'm
Yeah.
like super thankful. And I wondered because he hadn't really been online, at least from what I could see. And I was like, oh, I hope something didn't happen. Like, yeah, I was
Right.
just curious.
Yeah, no, I'm curious as well. I think he's just kind of keeping a low profile due to all of the legal stuff because obviously, he's kind of I think involved with Johnny and like his
Right.
side because, IO wanted to I think get him to shut up and he was just
Yeah.
having a lot of issues being threatened with legal stuff. So I miss him. I do miss him.
Um, Jay Phoenix Stevens makes a good point. I wonder if there will be some after all of her hiding and all of her not, cutting off the baby's face in pictures and stuff. I wonder if right before the trial, it'll be
Yeah.
like, oh my God, look, here's my baby's birthday. And it'll be like super aged out stuff for a 1-year-old, like bouncy houses and shit.
Yeah, that's possible. I'm really curious because she seems like her mood seems to change a lot. Like you don't hear about the baby for a long time, then suddenly you see the baby. I just I'm go back and forth. I'm like, I don't think she can possibly care about it. Do you think so?
I mean, I would think she cares for it in the way she cares for like her animals. I don't know because I'm not close to the situation, but that's what it feels
Yeah,
more like. And she could be totally the best mom behind the scenes. I find it very unlikely,
same.
but it does seem more like whereas she treats her dogs like her purses, she treats her baby like her dog. You know what I'm saying?
Uh, yeah. No, I know what you're saying. And there's also a theory, I believe Les brought it up. She was saying
Oh, I
that
love her.
same. No, I actually don't like her. She's terrible. I
She's
had
the
to
worst.
I had to pick up her hemorrhoids ointment the other day, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is like the worst thing in the world." And I took it to her, and then she was like, "Can you give me my Depends?" And I was like, "Look, I can only do so much as your child, all right? Like, I can't do this anymore." But anyway, sorry, I just had to vent my opinion on that
I
because
really do. She's so sweet. She's so cute too.
she is. She does such a great job. She's done so awesome with her breakdowns and stuff.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, she was saying that what if Amber doesn't even take care of the kid? I mean, she might just get it for photo opportunities and then just give it back to someone. It's like rent a baby, you
Yeah.
know?
Well, when she got the kid,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm talking about something she ordered from Amazon.
I
It feels more disrespectful to the baby than it does to Amber. Let's be real.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So when the kid was delivered, she was right at the beginning of doing Aquaman, correct?
Yes. Wait, sorry, say that again. I had a glitch.
Tell the truth.
Oh yeah, that's right. I am telling the truth. No, I don't like taking care of you, but I'll tell the truth.
Oof, you're okay, Jaycon. Here we go again. You guys are being sexist, honest, honey. I, I,
Good to see you, Jay Con.
yeah, yeah. I'm yesterday got an apology, and today you think we're being sexist. No, we're very close to this situation. Anyways, wait, what were we talking about?
I don't know. It was weird.
Oh, the baby.
There we go. There we go.
So she got it like right at the beginning of filming for Aquaman 2. That seems mildly inconvenient. I'm not gonna lie, like during when you're shooting a movie like that, you are on set 18 hours a day a lot of the times. You are
Exactly.
for months. That
Yeah.
baby's first kind of like situation, like obviously it was a few months, it was a little, 3 months old when she got it or so. But the first like after that, the next 3 months wasn't even with its mother.
And that's a really good point because can you imagine having a child and not being able to be with it for that long? And like I just I don't have a
It
child.
seems
Actually,
sad.
I have 20 kids. I'm kidding. But I sorry, I had like a glitch in case I cut you off. Can you
Oh
hear me?
no, I said it was sad. You would seem like it would be kind of heartbreaking that you couldn't be with your child at that young of an age.
Right, exactly. And like it makes me think of how Jason Momoa, I remember during like filming the first Aquaman movie, he was saying that something like he was upset that he had to be away from his kids for 2
Yes,
months.
I do remember that.
Yeah, and they were grown too. Like I guess they were, I don't know, like over 10 years old, so they were more like independent. But yeah,
Right.
leaving a baby that long, it just seems like such an awful thing. And like you said, heartbreaking in a sense because it can't bond with you. But I guess not bonding with Amber isn't a bad thing either.
Well, not only that, but that is initially like because it was. Did they ever figure out if it was a surrogate or adoption?
Oh my gosh, this is such a rabbit hole. It's such a crazy thing. I know what you're saying. Look, I That's a great question because remember the document when Jennifer Howe said that so Jennifer Howe was told by Amber's mom. It's like this game of telephone. Amber told her mother, and her mother told Jennifer Howe. Jennifer Howe put it in her statement that Amber claimed that her and Elon had embryos together. So it sounds like it tracks, you know what I mean? But I
Yeah.
don't know what to believe if it's coming from Amber.
Okay, so here's the weird thing. Not long before, within the year of her having the child, there was actually a bunch of stories going around about how they were in legal battle for frozen embryos.
Yes. Yep.
Huh. Yes, the rabbit hole gets very deep.
Yes. So,
But it would
oh,
seem
go ahead.
like that time would be the time when, whether it was either way, would be the bonding time. It's very, very weird to me. The whole situation is. But you brought up Jason Momoa. That actually reminds me. Whatever happened with that situation? I know a lot of people were kind of theorizing that he got hit in the eye by her. Did anything ever come out with that?
Yeah. So I didn't get an exact straight. I haven't. I feel like there isn't a really straight answer about that because it was a rumor that there was some kind of prop and apparently she took off like the safety thing on it and then it ended up hurting his eye. But no one knows for sure if it happened as a result because of her. Anybody in the chat, if you guys know the answer to that, because I thought they were kind of keeping it under wraps because, you know, that's not something they want people finding out about.
Right.
But it's very interesting. What do you think happened?
I don't know. I didn't cover that story specifically because I don't like covering unknowns. I'm very weird about that. But like
Yeah.
the whole situation felt like I hate to say this because I know your audience is gonna hate it for me, but even if it did happen, we don't know that it wasn't an accident. So like,
Yeah.
I don't see that one as being a big of a deal. Like if she smacked him, we'd be having a different conversation. But
Right,
it's
right.
likely something from the set of Aquaman that happened.
And I completely agree with you on that because I try to not just assume things. Like even though I don't like Amber and I think she's a terrible person, I do think people sometimes just jump to conclusions and they're like, "Oh my gosh, she automatically did this." You know what I mean?
Oh
Um,
yeah.
but no, I try to be fair for sure. And I didn't really cover it, I don't think, because like you said, you don't know for sure what happened. But maybe we'll find out later on.
Yeah, those things always end up coming out. Like even years later. Recently it came out with the Robert Downey Jr. You remember in the first Iron Man it was a different War Machine?
Yes, Terrence
It came
Howard.
out like years later that he got Robert Downey Jr. that job. And because of Robert Downey Jr.'s raise in the second one, he got fired. Like that
Wow.
shit always comes out. Even if it's shitty, it comes out at one point.
Yeah, I didn't wow, I thought it okay, interesting. I'm gonna read an article on that later more. Because I know a little bit about the situation, but I didn't know that entire thing. Really interesting.
Yeah,
Um
he totally fucked Terrence Howard over.
shit, that's crazy. I didn't know that. I thought that he just wanted more money and that he was being difficult about it. That's what I heard, but I didn't know enough about it to like form a solid opinion, but really interesting.
Ooh, Michelle brings up a good point. Because I
Oh,
am not on Twitter, but I have heard this name many times. Tell me a little bit more about or Barlow.
there's not much there. So
You mean in her brain
yeah,
or
yeah, mentally. So she's an idiot to begin with. She thinks she's a journalist. She's like BFFs with Amber. She's constantly going around saying stuff like Amber's being attacked by misogynists and
oh
all
jeez.
this bullshit. She blocked me on Twitter, which so I haven't really seen a lot of her stuff unless people will screenshot it and I see it on my timeline. But she's just kind of an abuse apologist for Amber. What did she do recently? So do you remember when the request for Amber's devices came out, like they were getting her, her cell phone
Yes.
and all that kind
Yep.
of stuff. Well, Eve decided to put a tweet out saying, "Does anybody know how to remove data on an iPhone?" or something like that.
No, she didn't.
Yes, she's so stupid. Like she actually put this, and I don't like to refer to people as stupid because that's a really common insult that can sometimes be overused. But I can't think of any other word to describe this woman because why the hell would you put that shit in public?
What is wrong with her? Like, honestly, why would you? Is she, even if she's like got her tweets protected? I'm sorry, it's going crazy.
Yeah,
Why? What?
I
I,
know.
I
Yeah.
kind of speechless. That is probably the silliest thing I have ever heard.
It's so true. And when I saw it, I was at a loss for words myself. And she's always putting stuff. She's constantly putting stuff on Twitter about how she's Jewish, which obviously there's nothing wrong with that. Everyone is loved regardless of who they are. But the
Right.
problem is she's constantly acting like she lived through the Holocaust and putting a lot of really stupid
Oof.
stuff that's actually insulting, to people who've gone through that. But she calls everything racist too. Like if someone disagrees with her, they're racist.
Oh my
Yeah, she's going
gosh.
after Tug. She's calling him a simp and stuff.
What? A
Yeah.
Wait, isn't simp like I I had to Google this like a year ago. I'm not even kidding.
No.
It isn't it like you like something something mediocre pussy? Like, isn't it like I don't know how could he be a simp?
Oh, that's really funny. I always refer to it as kind of like being like you're just a loser who doesn't get out much and you sit at home all day, doing nothing and you've never touched a woman type thing.
Well, so I'm a simp. No, I'm just kidding. Like I don't that's a really dumb insult. Like
It
it
is.
doesn't lead to anything. And that's I have a big issue with people like that anyway. When they just go to insults like that, they have nothing to say towards the actual whatever the topic is, right? Like if you're just gonna go, no, he's a
Yeah.
racist.
It's
Like,
that whole like ad hominem thing. I think that's what they
yes,
call it. When you instead of paying attention to like the argument they presented, you just insult them. And yeah, you're right about that. And like Carrie said in the chat, she tweets racist stuff all the time herself. Like you know how it is, how people who call everybody else racists a lot of times are racists themselves.
yes. Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
and she's always putting horrible stuff like that on Twitter. But yeah, Tug responded to her tweet and was like, I'm married with 2 or 3 kids. I'm not a simp.
Like he has his child with the little comic book and stuff. Come on now. How
Yeah.
it's the nerd guy in school that's best friends with the head cheerleader that does all her homework, does her wash, and does everything for her, and she just thanks him with a kiss on the cheek. There we go. There's the definition. That's so perfect.
Oh, Hooded Justice, that was so good. You deserve an award for that, Hooded Justice. That
That was
was
perfect.
so fantastic. Thank you, Cherry, for the compliments and hashtags. I'm glad to see that.
Look
Um,
at it with big words. I'm so proud. I love
You
it.
know what, Cherry? I just got a dictionary for Christmas, so I've been trying to figure out how to do it.
Wait. Who bought you a dictionary
I,
for
I'm
Christmas?
just joking. I'm kidding.
Okay, I was gonna say, did you hit them with it? Like we all have Google on our phones.
Exactly. Okay, speaking of Google, this is gonna sound kind of like random out of nowhere, but so I want to say about a week ago, for some reason, our live stream, the first one we did on your channel, came up in my recommended. So I
Oh
clicked
yeah.
on it just to listen to it. I'm like, oh, I wonder what we talked about. And we were talking about, remember the Amber Heard playlist lady?
Oh my god. Yes,
So
crazy.
yes. So I remember I was listening to like just a few minutes of it, and we were talking about how in her videos, she's always like, you can look this up, you can go to this website. And I just remember you said, everybody has Google, honey. And I just thought that was the funniest thing because her argument is like, go to this website, Google this. We can all do that.
And like, she doesn't.
No.
She always says, she's like, well, I worked in law. I was this. I used to be a lawyer, guys, I swear. If you guys hear us show them who we're talking about, oh my God, she's crazy. And she's like violent. Like some of her stuff. Let me move the chat just for a minute so I can show.
Go
Like,
ahead. It's and then she does this weird stuff. She puts these like she goes on Google Translate and then puts it in a different language. And then she was going on about
everybody all over the world to know that her and her 56 subscribers, and I'm totally subscribed because I think she's crazy and I think it's funny.
Yeah.
All know, like,
oh my gosh, it's so good. And they see all the screenshots of the people's usernames. She's making response videos to these people, and she's basically saying that she calls them all like abuse and like rape apologists. And then she said to this one guy in one of the videos, she goes, I hope you have a nice house because I'm gonna be living in it after I sue your ass.
This is the pretty girl. Wait, where is it?
It's
yes, the tapes that you see all over YouTube and Twitter are fake. They are edited at the source of my.
She tried. Okay, so funny story. I may have told this last time.
Yeah, go ahead.
She tried to say that all of those videos of her, like, of Amber being psychotic, and it was all deep fakes.
Yes, I remember that. Sorry, I'm like, I can't stop laughing about this because it's so ridiculous. I remember that. She said it was like some technology, right?
Yes. She sent me like some CNN article.
Here are today's announcements.
Where do rape apologists go when they die?
Scooped by a disease-plagued rat,
hell.
better hurry.
The answer is hell, apparently. This bitch is crazy. And she's like, oddly spends a weird amount of time doing this. And every single, there's no video that is not related to Amber Heard. None.
Yeah. No. It's really.
This is so ironic. Some women don't care. They get through life the easy way. Isn't that the theme of Amber's life?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God, this lady.
And it's, I know you said, because she commented, I was surprised she never made a video on me because she commented on one of my videos and she said something like, you don't know what you're talking about. And I completely like blocked her and hid her from my channel. And then in this one video, I think it's that one with the sunglasses next to the rainbow one. You don't have to play it, but if anybody wants to watch it later or something. But she was saying how she's going to sue Google and YouTube at some point. She said she was going to sue all the YouTube channels that hid her from their channel. Like, you know, like so many people have gotten rid of her from their channel. They don't want that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
She is legitimately insane.
Where didn't she make videos on you?
Yeah, it's been a while though. It's been over 8. Yeah. It was like, then there was one to my viewers, and she just like put something on there that said, you're dumb or something like that. It was, she got me good.
Oh my gosh. And Carrie said, how did you find her? I found her because she commented on my stuff, and I'm assuming, Tristan, you found her because she commented and put videos on you. Oh my gosh.
Wait, what? Sex without consent is rape. Say Captain Obvious.
Yeah, what?
Oh my God, this woman. Oh my God. I cannot imagine, like, I just want to be in her brain for like 5 seconds will do.
Yeah. And it's concerning because, you know, somebody like her, of course, knows or probably actually believes what she's saying, which is very concerning. But, oh my gosh, it's like you said, sometimes I'll go on there and I'll look at it and I'll just laugh. But then I'm like, wow, is this for real?
Like, but clearly, okay, when it comes to the JD stuff, there are a lot of people that have come to the same conclusion. And that is proof by people like myself getting subs from it, or Tug getting subs from it, or you. That is proof that people are at least opening their eyes or open to the idea of it.
Yes.
Honey, you
there's
have 56 and a couple of them are us just to keep an eye on you.
I bet you that's what most of them actually are, though, is just people who've subscribed to laugh, like you said. And
it's free entertainment.
It really is. And there's another one out there, but it's usually you get that behavior on Twitter. It's harder to come by that on YouTube, to be honest.
You know what I've kind of noticed is Twitter is like a relatively left-leaning echo chamber, and YouTube is kind of the opposite with the right.
I have actually kind of noticed that, yeah. Yeah, interesting. Because sorry, I don't want to go down too much of a rabbit hole, but
no, you're totally fine.
Yeah, I've noticed on Twitter, okay, when people on Amber's side want to insult Depp supporters, I've seen a lot of them accuse us of being conservative. Even if there's plenty of people who aren't, and I'm not even myself. I'm just like a centrist type person. But they'll be like, "Oh, you're just a Republican conservative right winger who just believes everything." I'm like, "What? I just don't understand. Are you trying to, you know what I mean? What argument are you making?"
Well, for one, they want to put you in a box. Like, that's what I hate, is people they want to put you in a perfect little box. You're either left-leaning or right-leaning, and if you're left-leaning, you must believe women. That's not how it works. You can be relatively far left and still be in this community. Honestly, there's no politics involved here.
Yeah, exactly. People need to stop making things so political, because it takes away from the seriousness of it. They want to bring politics into everything, and it's not like that.
No, it's literally just people were either fans, maybe victims themselves. People saw the situation going down and they wanted to put their backing. Or there's also that group of people that love the drama and want to know what's going on because they're a fan of the drama. A lot of it are true and decent supporters.
Yeah.
Like there is maybe
no,
maybe you're transphobic. What? Maybe. Maybe.
What are you rating?
J Con, I think it's on my channel. I am not in the least bit. This is the second time you've said that to me. I'm not transphobic. I actually watch a bunch of bread tubers. I watch a bunch of right wingers. Being transphobic means you have to be against trans rights, and I am not.
All right.
There we go. Easy as pie, honey.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
You're weird.
I don't even know what to say. All right, have a good one, J Con. I don't you're grabbing this out of thin air. We're talking about Johnny Depp. I'm so confused.
I get you. Yeah, you and me both. Hey, thank you, Diamond Knight. It won't show up on here. It says, hey, I love reading these when they send that's one problem with Restream. When they send the little stickers, they show up as descriptions. Yeah. So it's pair character exaggerately stretching his arm forward to offer a cup of coffee.
Do they do that on purpose? Because that's really funny.
It's hilarious. Thank you so much, Diamond Knight. I don't know why they do that.
I actually really like that. Pair character exaggerately stretching his arm forward to offer a cup of coffee. Oh my gosh. Jane made a good comment. She said, "How are they linking far right to our cause? What does that have to do with anything?" Right? None of this has to do with anything.
The only thing I can think of is this is post Me Too era when when it kind of all started. And that was a very left-leaning thing.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. And maybe because because people like Tug and Yellow Flash and the Quartering cover it and they are far right, but that does not mean everybody in the community.
Right.
There's nothing political about wanting justice for a man that was clearly not the perpetrator of this whole situation.
Yeah, yeah, you said it very well. Exactly. You don't have to have a certain political background to support the same thing. And I mean, I feel like that's one good thing actually about sorry, Hooded Justice, your comment made me laugh. But
Piss off.
Sorry, continue. I can't talk because that J-Con made me laugh. I probably shouldn't be laughing at it, but the stupidity of it's cracking me up. But anyway, I can't talk. Go ahead.
This is a good point too. Amber's bi, so maybe the link there. But
oh, no.
But even with the LGBTQ community, there's a lot of people that support Johnny. It just, I think a lot of it is, if you look at stuff like Twitter, I think it was the research that said that 15% of the people on Twitter make 85% of the tweets. So it's a very vocal minority. And then only like 10% of people in America are even on Twitter. So letting something like that decide the narrative of what is going on is ridiculous.
That's a really good point you mentioned there. I'm glad you said it because I remember seeing that actually. Because I don't know, do you use Reddit much?
Very, very rarely. I sometimes check like the DC ones trying to look for a video, but other than that, not really.
Yeah, so Reddit is kind of like that as well. I saw some statistics about that online. Just, these two social media platforms have kind of like condensed, the crazies, and it makes it seem like there's more than there actually are. But in reality, when you hear statistics like that, it makes you feel a lot better. Because I don't know about you, most people I encounter in real life are not crazy like this.
No, most people are not near as far left to where they circle back around and become authoritarian also.
Right. Yeah, like because I've noticed with social media, there's so many people that are, like on far ends of like both, political spectrums.
And most people really go in the middle.
Exactly. Like most people you talk to, and not to make this whole political thing, but most people you talk to are very reasonable people and aren't so, stuck in their ways.
Exactly. But the problem is, you don't get attention on social media if you're just a normal person like that. So you have to go more outrageous. You have to up the ante. You have to make it about politics. You have to make it misogynistic or whatever Eve wants to say it is. Or you have to make it on the other side about hate. So you have to up the ante constantly. Otherwise, you're just another, drop in the bucket.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I absolutely agree with that. Tanya, her comment caught my eye. She said, "Oh shit, it skipped. I don't know where it went."
This one.
Let's see. That's another good one. That's another good one. It was the one. That's a really good one where she said it's weird because it's not about politics, but they made it political, which is why Evan Rachel Wood.
I did see that. I was actually going to. I'm looking. I was gonna address it because, oh my goodness, I will find it. I promise. I was going to address it because that actually, maybe you would know more about the situation.
Oh
but
yeah.
And I'm only bringing them up because they're friends. They're friends.
Yeah.
Nobody.
By all means, talk about it because I haven't.
What's been going on with the Marilyn Manson one?
So I'm currently finishing editing a 40-minute video on the whole thing.
That's long.
It took me a long time. So if people are wondering where I've been, it's there because I know you and we briefly discussed this on the last stream we did together like a few months ago because this was before I knew a ton about it. So I feel very, very, very strongly that he didn't do the things that he's accused of. And once this video comes out, if you're interested, I highly recommend watching it because you're going to, I think you're going to really, what's the word? There's going to be things that really catch your attention because there's so much information out there that's been put out by some really good Instagram accounts about it. There's an account called Stand By Your Manson on Instagram, really, really good. But anyway, I don't think he did it because there are so many inconsistencies in these accusations from these women. Like, for example, Evan in some ways almost reminds me of Amber. I'm not saying it's the same thing, but here's an example. She said that Manson forced her to do cocaine and like do drugs and stuff, but come to find out, she actually was the one who would call in the drugs and supply everybody with it when they were hanging out with people and did it herself. And she lied about that. So to me, that's not just the only point about it, but why would you lie about something like that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and when I originally talked about that, I didn't really talk about it. I just said don't equate one to the other because you don't know.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And I was kind of in the same situation with that one where I was at the beginning with this, where I didn't know enough information to form my own opinion.
Exactly.
All the information you hear coming out is depraved. It is, he did this, he did it. There was a girl from Game of Thrones. That was the one I was like, oh my God, what the fuck happened in your life? Like,
sorry,
was this something that was like, if it's just something kinky, then fuck it, who cares?
Well, that's what I'm saying, and this just drives me crazy because yes, I'm glad you brought her up. So Esme, that's her name. So she's another one. She has this photo of her back. Oh yeah, Carrie mentioned it. So she put this picture of her back out there, right? And it's a photo where she has red marks on her back. And she tried to say she was like whipped really violently by Manson, right? But it's rope marks. Come to find out, these people like in the fetish, like, erotic community came out. Yeah, and they said those are rope marks. If those were whip marks, there would be possible like lacerations, but also bruising. So she's been proven wrong that she lied about that. So to me, there's only so many coincidences, and also they all know each other, and they all it's basically a proven fact that they came together to release statements around the same time, which makes me also wonder if it's coordinated.
And I also have a big problem when somebody goes, I don't like this social media campaigns. And I understand like wanting, I guess, not to shame somebody, but if you have evidence to begin with, this, and I actually, as far as what's the other girls, Evan and Rachel Wood, I will say I don't know her situation with Manson.
Yeah.
But I do believe her other account simply because she's done so much as far as and I feel like I'm too ignorant to talk on these situations. So correct me if I'm wrong, but
your opinion, no matter what, your opinion is fully respected. I mean, I'm talk all you want. Like, go ahead. I'm glad to hear what you have to say.
Well, she's done a lot of like good as far as bringing up bills and trying to help other women, and I can totally respect that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but I also in the way she described it, in the way that it's horrific to me, and I can't believe that she's not gone through some trauma the way and of course she is an actress, you have to say that, but she's gone through something. Now I'm not saying that's Manson because that came later and it was like a weird, it was probably kink, but I do feel like with her being a young actress in Hollywood, I have no doubts that she went through some shit.
Well, and I agree with a lot of your points there. I think so. First of all, the Phoenix Act, which she established, the bill that you were talking about. Yes, so she did do good, and that is a good thing that she created. So even if she it's comes out that she isn't telling the truth. She at least did something good by it in a sense. But I know what you're saying. I think my theory is, and I'll probably articulate myself bad, so the people watching this, I highly recommend watching the video to get all my points. But basically, I definitely think there's something that possibly did happen to her in her past, but there's some kind of, I don't know how to describe it, distortion in a sense, because I've genuinely, my opinion, based on like all the evidence that's out there, because there is a lot more than even what I listed, I genuinely do not believe that Evan did it at all, or that Evan went through it by Manson at all. But I think that for some reason, if she went through something else, she wants to pin it on Manson. And another point I would like to add to that is that I really don't like when people publicly name people as their abusers, not because I suddenly don't believe them, but because I just don't think it's fair to the person, because I feel that innocent until proven guilty is such a big thing, because if they turn out to not be guilty, a lot of the damage has already been done. You know what I mean?
Most of the damage has already been done. This is actually a really, really good point here. All of the claim against Manson seemed to be girls that thought it would be cool to enter his world, then later regretted their own behavior and can't take responsibility. His world is fucked up. Let's be real. It's Marilyn Manson. If you were going into a relationship not thinking there was at least a little bit of kink there, you're crazy. And that is exactly from my understanding, that seems to make the most sense to me.
Oh yeah. And well, here's another thing. So I definitely think that there is an aspect of that in there for sure. But it's funny because most of the women that were in a relationship with Manson, there's a lot of interviews. So Colonel Kurtz, you'll see people talking about her. So she's done a lot of really awesome interviews.
Oh, I love her. She's so cute too.
Yeah, her stuff is really good. And these people that she interviewed that used to be in relationships with Manson, a lot of them have said, it's not what people think it is. That he wasn't into like really, really like hardcore BDSM stuff. Like they even said it. All of them vouched for that. And even Evan even admitted herself to one of Manson's friends. She was like, "Oh yeah, it's like pretty like vanilla. It's not all that like what people might think it is." Sorry, I'm like going down this really deep rabbit hole.
Oh no, you're totally fine. I'm honestly way more ignorant, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, I'm glad to talk about it, but and then I mean, there's just so much more to the story, but again, like I don't want to say this to sound like I'm being an apologist in any kind of way, but a lot of times I think people will regret something they did. Like, let's say if someone consented to something in the past, but then they regret it later on, they're like, oh, that's not for me. People can't come back and say, oh, you assaulted me when you agreed to that and you were fine with it then. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes. And this is what I mean about Evan Rachel Wood. She was in Hollywood. That movie was messed up. Do you really believe for a fucking second that most of these kids that go into Hollywood aren't fucked up in some sort of way?
Oh, you're absolutely right about that. And it's sad. It's a scary place because I don't think I could ever do it. Do you think?
I tried when I was younger. I tried out for like the Gilmore Girls and I did some acting. Ooh. And it was like really degrading. And I was out.
That's really interesting. So did you ever get any parts or any second auditions for anything? You don't have to share that if you don't want to. I'm just curious.
I did for one when I think it was back when the CW was still, what was it, WB something. It was that long ago. But it was one of those things where you walk in and it was like, okay, we're gonna size you up, and I'm very, very young and on my own, and I'm uncomfortable going to a male doctor, let alone being put in that sort of situation. So I was out. I did some plays in my like local theater, and that was much more my style. Like it was just fun and silly, not serious. But even when walking into something like that, you feel that uncomfortable. I can't imagine when it gets higher up.
Yeah, and that's ew. I'm sorry that you had to go through that. I'm with you. I wonder, right? Because it's people like Harvey Weinstein exist or
Bill
existed
Cosby.
in a sense. Bill Cosby,
Oh
yes.
God.
Oh, it's so disgusting. My mom actually was almost in the movie Hairspray. Fun fact, but
That's so cool.
yeah, the original Hairspray, she was gonna be in it, but it didn't work out because she had some other stuff to do, and she doesn't regret it because she was like, that wouldn't be the life for me. But that's a fun fact.
That's so cool.
Yes.
I love musicals.
Yeah, so you had fun doing those. You said you were in like, is that what you said? You were in music roles, or you were in like theater type stuff?
I did like Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. I did Dirty Work at the Crossroads. I did
Cool.
a bunch. And it was really kind of where my passion was. I loved dressing up and being funny. I loved doing like cosplay and stuff like that. It was way too rigid when all I wanted to do is be silly and sing and dance and I was good at it. I lost it. I was like, meh, okay, this makes me super uncomfortable. I'm done with this situation. Moving on in my life. I was young.
Oh yeah. I understand, and I'm sure you don't regret it. I mean, with nowadays with YouTube and stuff, you can actually do what you want to do and have a kind of a presence in the world without people invading your personal life, even though they still kind of try to do that, but on a smaller
for
scale.
Sure. Yeah, I honestly I was like, I had to get to a point where I was like, well, I can't do this. I got to pay rent, right?
Yeah.
So it was like after I did, I think it was Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. I'm like, yeah, so I need to deliver pizzas. Like I need to I'm broke.
Yeah. I gotcha. No, it would not be the life for me. It wouldn't be. Sorry, I just had a comment catch my eye. Hominus says, wait until the cuties grow up. I assure there will be another shitstorm. What do you know what the whole situation with that is? I know like a basic premise, but what exactly happened? I know it was some kind of Netflix thing that people thought was like perverted.
I watched the movie and I reviewed the movie.
Okay.
It was a film festival movie that they ended up platforming.
Okay.
It was quite it was disturbing in the sense that you've got 11, 10, 12-year-old girls twerking.
Yeah.
Like it was really weird. And the whole message of it was like by the end it was like, well, fuck your family, go shake that ass. Like it was so weird. The whole thing was weird, but people were mad about it. It got a lot of really negative feedback, and rightfully so. But then you're like, the problem is necessarily like they could have done that with it's very similar to something like 13. It's supposed to be a cautionary tale, but the problem was in execution. And then of course then the parents allowing something, why would you let your kid in that? Like why?
And yeah, and I feel the same way about that. The idea of that kind of stuff just makes me really uncomfortable. I just don't think you're setting your child up for healthy things. You know what I mean?
Yes, and Phil said it sexualized underage girls. And that's why I said
exactly.
You can tell a cautionary tale. You can. Look at like we've been talking about Evan Rachel Wood with 13. This didn't do that. The execution was really bad. I am not for censorship of any type of art. If you want to tell that cautionary tale, just do it correctly.
Right, you can do it in a way to where you don't make it so disgusting. Exactly like what Phil says, you're sexualizing underage girls. I just wanted to jump back to sorry, you can read this.
No, I was just putting it. I always put them up if they're good. Raymond, let me get this super chat real quick. Holy crap, Raymond. I had fun listening to y'all. Love hearing from you both. I gotta get back to work. Have fun. Well, have fun at work. That sounds super interesting. Thank you so much, Raymond. I really
Take care,
appreciate it.
Raymond. Yeah, have a good one. Thanks for the nice comment, by the way. I'm excited to be here. It's been a good chat.
Definitely. Okay, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're fine. I interrupted you. So Tanya says, I've noticed Evan Rachel Wood seems to accuse her exes of stuff when they move on and get married. His current wife in 2020, she anyway, like I'll sorry, my chat was jacked up. I couldn't see. Oh, and then her ex had a kid with her and someone else, and she took his son. Yeah, so there's a lot of information there that I wanted to just touch on. So first of all, I've actually spoken with Manson's wife before, the one he's married to now, and I know this might not be proof that she didn't like do anything, but I genuinely don't believe that she's capable of this. She's a very lovely, like, kind person. But Evan, one of the claims she has against his wife Lindsay is that she has underage photos of Evan, right? Now, let me tell you why this is BS. Manson was not with Evan when she was underage, and Evan was trying to say that this was when she was like 16 or 17. Why would his wife have photos of her underage? And she said that she was going to leak them out to the press and all this stuff. Like, the whole statement is just basically bullshit. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Like, they were not together when she was underage. And then Evan's ex, Jamie. So Evan actually lied about where her son was. So they have a son together. And she was supposed to put him on a plane and send him back to her ex. And Evan, he didn't hear from Evan for a few days or something like that. And she never sent him back on the plane so that he could see his son. And she just lied about it. Like, that does not make her look good.
No, oh my God. Wait, but why would he have those pictures for so long that would be literally child porn? Like, what is wrong with you? Why would he have not destroyed them at the very least?
Exactly. And sorry for like the whole rant of information. I know that was so much to digest, but exactly. It doesn't make any sense. And if you listen to Manson in interviews, I don't know if you've seen any interviews with him, but he's a very intelligent person. So I just don't think he would be stupid enough to do that. And I also just don't think that these photos exist because they were together when she was 19 and then she turned 20. So she was not a child. So for her to say that is just not true.
When did they meet?
So he was still with his wife, Dita Von Teese, and they were friends. And they didn't do anything, but that was basically the reason for the divorce. I don't think they slept with each other, but I think they were hanging around too much. That's why she wanted to separate. But anyway, they met when she was 19, and then they were together, I think, towards like the tail end of her being 19, and then into when she was
still
20.
Of age.
Yeah, so exactly. She was not, they didn't meet at 17 or anything like that. Crap, there was something else I was gonna say. Like, and then there's go ahead.
No, if some of those relationships may seem weird because it wasn't even in its 30s.
Yes, and I personally would never do something like that. Like, I think it's a little bit weird if like a 37-year-old is dating, I don't know his exact age, but like a 37-year-old's dating an 18-year-old or 19-year-old, or because you can find people like your age. It just seems a little creepy to me. Right. But it's still not like, it doesn't mean you're a pervert. Like, it's not illegal or anything. But anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Well, the truth is you can't really help who you love. Anyways,
exactly.
You can't help who you fall in love with, and it may have been an accidental thing, but yeah, it's a little weird. It's quite a bit of age difference, but don't pretend like he wasn't like, oh, she's 19. Like, it is a dude. Of course he was going to be happy about it.
Yes, exactly. Like, oh, and okay, so Tanya said they made that when she was 18, but
well, still
not
legal. As gross as it sounds, still legal.
Yeah, it's still legal, and who knows? He may have not even known that she was that young, because I've seen some pictures where she was, like, to me, she looked like she would be older than what her age actually was. But one more thing I wanted to add.
Oh,
so there's a woman named Greta Aurora. So she met Manson years back, and she actually lost her virginity to him. And so one of the other accusers, her name is Ashley Walters. So she put this woman Greta into her court documents, saying that Greta was degraded by Manson because Ashley actually used to be Manson's assistant. So she tried to say she was with Manson like during the time that Greta like went and slept with Manson, and she said that she heard after the fact that Manson was like degrading her and like bragged about doing all this stuff, and she put that in court documents. Well, this woman Greta, she actually went to Twitter and said, no, that's not true. Like, I consented to everything and you're lying and you basically commit perjury. So that's another really good fact to the case.
Oh, wow. I had no idea. Yeah. Your hand's eventually going to show if you start claiming stuff you know nothing about. Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, and I won't take over the whole conversation with all this because I have a video coming out, so a lot more facts will be in it. But just to give you a little glimpse, I know there's a lot of stuff that people don't know, and I think another thing with this case is there's not as many people covering it, so the information is not as easily and readily available as the Depp case is. So you have to dig a little bit deeper, to like find certain facts and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I hadn't honestly heard much about it. That's why I wanted to pick your brain, because I had no idea. And it's weird to me, like, I love Alice Cooper. I've seen him in concert, I think 6 times at this point. I've met him twice. I love Alice Cooper. And he's always been good friends with the both of them. So I'm like, he's a born-again Christian. He's a good guy.
Yes.
Why would that association be there? Like, I'm not saying that everybody you're friends with are good people. I'm not saying that. But like, he's publicly endorsed the both of them.
Oh yeah. No, and I think though that's a good point because it just tracks. Like, I know what you're saying. Like, I can't put it into words, but right. And Manson is actually Johnny Depp's daughter, Lily Rose's godfather, I think. And it's just there's so much. Sorry, my brain is just a mess right now because there's just so much to this whole thing,
Yeah, I can't wait for your video.
Yeah,
when are you gonna get it up? You said.
So it's probably I'm still trying to get it up. That I was making a bad joke.
That's what she said.
I was waiting for Cherry to grab onto that. So it's gonna probably be out, I would say, by Friday. I'm still working on that. There was actually one more thing I wanted to add that's kind of like mind-blowing in a sense that I will say. So something that people don't know about Evan that I don't think Evan wants people to know, is that Evan actually ended up becoming pregnant, right? And it turns out it wasn't Manson's child while they were in a monogamous relationship, right? So she went to get an abortion, which I don't care what people do. I have no comments to make on whether, she should or shouldn't get one. Like, whatever. But anyway, Manson actually went across country to be with her when she got an abortion for a child that was not even Manson's kid, and she cheated on him, right?
That would be so hard.
Exactly. And this is my point, why the hell would somebody who's a horrible person, who's like abused you and treated you like shit, in my opinion, I don't think he would have gone out of his way to do that for her.
No, absolutely not. That's like a character moment. You know what I mean?
Yes, exactly.
Wow.
It's horrible.
Yeah, that's pretty telling. Oh my goodness.
I know. When I heard it, so this was in one of Colonel Kurt's interviews with one of his former friends, or one of his friends. I think they're still friends. And I remember I was listening to it, And I had to sit down for a second because I was like, did I really just hear this correctly? Because I was so surprised. I'm like, wow, it's like this really happened. And the fact that she's going on about how he caused her all of this pain, which in my strong opinion, I genuinely think there's no evidence to suggest that he did any of this stuff to her. She's claiming that all this happened to her, but she's forgetting the fact that she caused him a severe amount of pain. Like imagine kind of mental trauma that puts you through, that someone you thought you could trust, did that to you.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That is insane. I do need to watch more. It's Colonel Kurtz, right? With a K.
Yeah.
She pops up in my timeline quite a bit, and I listen from every. Yeah, I need to do more research on it. Wow, I had no idea how in depth that stuff, how in depth this stuff was.
Yeah, and my video is gonna be, I use some of her, like I reference some of her information in my videos. So my video is I would say it's a pretty good, like well-rounded summary, like for beginners who are just starting to kind of get into it. You know what I mean?
That's perfect. That's perfect for me. Just because that is one thing I avoid. Like when I read that initially, what's her name, Esme stuff.
Yeah,
I was just like, oh, I can't. And yeah, I'm glad I asked, because wow, that's a lot of nonsense. We'll call it nonsense.
Yeah, nonsense is definitely a good word. And and I'm also I'm supposed to be doing something with Colonel Kurtz once the video comes out. So yeah, maybe
that's awesome.
Something, but yeah, it's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff to grasp.
That's awesome. I'm definitely gonna check it out. You know, one thing I wanted to ask about too was, did you hear recently, back kind of shifting over to Depp?
Yeah, go ahead.
How oh my gosh, Vision? I can't think of his name.
Yeah.
How he came out and said how he was affected by all of those text messages that came out.
Oh yeah, Paul Bettany.
I just call him Vision.
No, Vision's fine. I know what you mean. Yeah, so you're saying that Paul Bettany claimed that those text messages have impacted him?
Oh yeah.
That frustrates me so much, because this is, if saying something in private out of anger is completely different than actually genuinely meaning something you're saying. We've all said something stupid in private. So for those text messages to be used against either of them, it just disgusts me.
Well, come on. Like, we say dumb shit all the time that's not public.
Yes.
Like, you say stuff to people that you don't even mean and eventually say sorry to. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
And especially like two friends, good friends, back and forth, having a conversation, never thought it would see the light of day. I just hope, for the sake of, and I don't think it will, because he's signed up with Marvel. Yeah. But I just hope for his sake it doesn't affect his career. Like, you don't know how far that stuff can actually go.
Yeah.
So Disney doesn't want anything bad on their slate.
No, and that's what worries me too. I was thinking about it not that long ago. I'm like, I hope this doesn't do anything to him. Just like you said, we've all had, and like Cindy said, everyone does it. If you really think that, sorry, I'm having a brain fart because this shit just drives me crazy. Right? If you really think that's a really bad thing, you should look at the other, sleaze bags that they're probably protecting in Hollywood. Why don't you go after shitty people like Weinstein? Because I'm sure there's still some other ones there that they're kind of covering up for. Why not go after these people instead of people who say things in a moment of anger?
Oh, because that's exactly right. They're protected for whatever. I mean, we came out with Weinstein. I'm sure it'll come out with others when people talk about it. But unfortunately, there's still in that Hollywood, there's still that casting couch. You know what I mean? Like, that's still a thing. Yeah. And it's unfortunately like, how do I say this nicely? Like, unless people just stop doing it and being part of that casting couch, it won't go away. Like everyone would unanimously have to do it, and that's never gonna happen. People want to be famous, and people will suck dick to be famous. Like, let's be real.
I like how you just removed the filter there. I love it because it's true. It's true. I mean, look at Amber. I mean, she's a perfect example. Look at who we're talking about today. Amber, I think. I mean, you mentioned it in our last stream. You know, I think she used her evil aspect about her to climb to the top. But I do think that she definitely was on her knees quite a bit to
oh God, yes.
To get
oh God, yes. And you know what's funny? When we streamed last time, you told me to check out your video about her trying to look like Scarlett Johansson.
Yes.
Oh my God, that video is so good.
Like, thank you.
I seen it just from liking Black Widow and stuff like that. But then when you point it out, like, she tried to replicate that girl's look.
Yes.
And if you go back, like, and look at, what was it? Never Back Down?
Mm-hmm.
She looks like a completely different person. Not completely, but you can tell how much work she has had done.
Yeah, oh yeah, because there's a website where someone showed her like evolution of plastic surgery, and it's insane because I'll be honest, for the first few years, I thought Amber had some decent work done until she started messing with her cheeks because I didn't realize she had so much done until I looked back.
Oh yeah, like her teeth and everything. Like she looked unique before, and now she just looks like a Hollywood starlet.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Go ahead, sorry.
No, I'm just saying it's a shame because I hate when like women feel like they have to look a certain way. I think beauty comes in all forms. I've been like very clear on my channel with my own body dysmorphic disorder. I've talked about different, body types and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I think it's awesome when girls want to look like themselves. And she literally tried to mold herself to one, become like Scarlett Johansson. Then when she started dating Johnny, her style completely changed.
Yeah, and well, exactly. And like how you were saying, she really genuinely tried to look like Scarlett. It's scary because those aren't the only pictures that I found. I might have to do a live stream on this sometime because I think it will make for a fun stream. But like you said with Johnny too, oh my gosh, she tried to look like this bohemian.
Yes, she tried to take his style.
Yeah, it's so creepy. And also, there's a really funny video. I'll have to send it to you. There's this woman named Teffy on YouTube, and she does this whole video where she like talks shit about Amber and makes fun of her for like trying to copy style. It's really good.
That's awesome. Robert said here off top. Oh, you're getting us off topic. Scott Pilgrim anime that's been announced. Apparently, the movie cast is returning. That'll include Brie Larson. That'll be interesting for sure. That'll be the next thing everybody will hate because Brie Larson is involved.
All right. I'm gonna give my honest thoughts on this. So sorry, I had another brain fart. I'm getting dementia. So I don't like all of the hate towards Brie Larson, and I'll tell you why. So I completely agree, and I do not disagree at all that what she said was dumb, like that she should not be saying, like, she basically said something racist, that, white men don't need to review her movie, whatever. But my problem is I feel that that's the same concept as cancel culture when people are like, oh, I want Brie to lose her job. I think Marvel should fire her. Because it's this, the same people who are like, oh my gosh, Gina Carano got fired.
I love this girl.
What was that? Who are
you?
Oh, me?
I put my hands up when I was saying that, and I dropped my headphone. Yes, it is it's hilarious because they act like they're against cancel culture, and oh my God, Ma Gina Carano, and I like Gina Carano. I have nothing against her.
Me too. Yeah.
But then they're like, fuck Brie Larson. She said this movie wasn't made for you. Maybe it just wasn't. Like, it's not a mean comment. The stuff she said about What did she say? I've seen the clips so many times. They use it over and over. Like
it
something
was-
about white dudes, right? Like
Yeah, it was something like, I don't need some white dude to watch my movie, or it was something along the lines of that. And
the problem was they took it out of context without saying what she was saying was a certain percent. It was like there's 30-40% of white males in America, but 65% of reviewers are white males. She was saying we need more diversity as far as reviewers, and people were like, she doesn't like white dudes. Okay.
And well, right, and you bring up a great point when you say that, because that was the point. She had good intentions. Like, that's what people are neglecting, is she wasn't trying to be that way. And either, regardless, like we were just saying, we shouldn't be trying to ruin someone's life for something they say. And like how we were, the Gina Carano thing, like, oh my gosh, Gina Carano was canceled, but let's ruin Brie Larson's life. It makes me go on this whole rant, because I just don't like that we pick and choose. Like, let's dig up old tweets about somebody. It's okay when we do it, but when someone else does it, it's wrong,
Yes. Holy crap. I love you. You are awesome. They just did this. So Jack Murphy is a douchebag, clearly, but they just dug up everything from his life and they didn't call it cancel culture. Like, that's absolutely, he's a cuck or whatever. He's an idiot. Fine. Doesn't mean you get to ruin his life. And they did the exact same thing to him. It's like, rules for thee, but not for me.
Exactly. And Hooded Justice, no, I don't dabble in the devil's lettuce. I have a lot of people ask me that on streams. It's probably my personality, but no, I actually don't. But that comment made me laugh. Anyway, sorry. So who is Jack Murphy? Sorry, I thought I knew who it was for a second, but I don't know.
It's this whole thing that's been going around. Basically, he was on Blaze TV. And there was some old article where he said he likes to be cucked, I guess. And someone brought it up, and they were like, or he yelled at the woman, later apologized from my understanding. But then the quartering dug up everything from his life. Like when he used to do Chatterbait, dug up old pictures of him, like masturbating, dug up everything. His life is like,
no,
in the public eye, his life is over.
That actually like makes me feel sad, like in my soul. Like, okay, so the quartering, I strongly, he seems like a nice person, but I genuinely disagree with what he's done there, because I'm not here to like shit talk anybody, but I've seen a lot of stuff from him and I just don't agree with it, because personally I find it very hypocritical. Just
right.
Like, it's just, yeah, that's not okay. I mean, now, is this Jack guy, is he okay? Because I can't imagine what that does to you mentally.
I can't imagine he is. And it's just, yeah, he was into some weird shit. So fucking what? I don't give a shit what you do in your bedroom.
No, nobody.
Don't pretend like it's not okay. Like, it's okay to oh my God, Gina Carano, but I'm gonna do the exact same thing, and even worse to a degree. Like,
yeah.
Especially after he had apologized to, I think her name's Sydney Watson. He had apologized, and it's just like fuck. You can look on YouTube and just see a man's life ruined day by day by day, and it's kind of sad. Like, I don't want to see anybody
that's
like to that degree.
Yeah,
that's like pushing somebody to suicide. Sorry, that's the truth.
No, it's true. When you bring somebody down in front of an audience, and
a big audience too.
Yeah, you are, and that's you stated the painful it's painfully true. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm not drunk. But I can't talk today. But exactly, and it's not okay. And I think there's a difference between, if somebody wants to cover something that someone did, for example, I think Demi Lovato needs to stop talking. I think she needs to stop saying.
She's like, we can't call people aliens, or can't call aliens, or she's drunk all the time or something. She's on some good fucking shrooms.
Oh gosh, my soul. Like you brought that up. I forgot about that. Yeah, she said it's offensive to call them aliens, so we call them extraterrestrial. Oh my gosh. And then when she did the thing with the frozen yogurt, okay, when she said that the frozen yogurt shops selling sugar-free cookies and stuff means that they promote diet culture and that they should be canceled. She called out the name of the business on social media. I'm like, all right, I understand. I don't like diet culture. I think it's very toxic and can lead people to unhealthy behaviors that are hard to get out of. But people have something called diabetes that they, that's why they need to eat sugar-free things. So my point I'm trying to make is that it's okay to talk about how, you're like, all right, this is a little ridiculous, but I don't want Demi Lovato's life to be ruined because I've actually had people try to cancel me in the past, and I know that it feels like shit. So for us to try to do that to someone else, it's not cool.
Yeah, and I think she's just a little bit of a nutcase. Like, I still like some of her music. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
me too.
She's just crazy. Every once in a while, people are just fucking crazy. Like, and I'm not gonna. And I think they actually did. They end up like making up. I forget when it came to the ice cream place.
So she ended up apologizing for it. I just remember seeing it almost seemed like a little bit of like a half-ass apology, but she did apologize for it. And that kind of brings me back to like when you said, what was it that this guy, Jack Murphy, you said he apologized. When when they've attempted to redeem themselves and try to come back from it and make it clear that they're sorry, it's also really weak when people try to still bring it up again.
Right. They said it was a weak apology. I totally get that. I just don't think somebody's life should be ruined over chatterbait. Like,
oh yeah,
it's just you feel bad for a person when they're that low. My heart goes out to anybody in that situation. And honestly, going back to Brie Larson, she's allowed to have her opinions and views. She doesn't need. I would guess there's thousands of videos of her on YouTube.
Oh, yeah, and I mean, I'm just curious how she was feeling during all that. If she paid attention to it,
I would hope not, for her sanity.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't know. I know Captain Marvel obviously was a controversy, but as an actress in general, Brie Larson is actually a really good actress, in my opinion. I mean, the movie like Room and just other movies, I mean, she can act, I think. So for people to try to diminish the fact that she's actually a decent actress and basically, I don't know, it's kind of like they've discredited everything about her. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly. And I've never seen her in anything. I know Captain Marvel made $1 billion, so let it be. I'm over it. Like, I'm over all of the fucking hate that's gone around. And I really tried to change my channel in that way to be a little bit more positive. But from being on YouTube, negativity sells so much.
Yeah. Yes.
People love drama.
My gosh.
We're all kind of victims of that. We're all like, ooh, I want to know what's going on. Like, and then you do something positive and it's like, oh, okay, well, yeah, okay. Cool.
No, I'm with you on that. That's one of the reasons why sometimes I would take breaks with covering the Johnny Depp stuff, because it would kind of become draining. So I either switch topics in a sense because I'm on like the Manson thing, or I sort of cover it in a more positive way. So I don't know if you've seen like how many of my Amber videos you've seen, but so sometimes I would do like legal breakdowns, which took too long to do.
Right.
And then sometimes I would a lot of times in the beginning, I just started making fun of her, which was a lot of fun.
makes it easier too to cover the tough topics.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, because I'd be like, Amber's a Fruit Loop, or I don't know. I made fun of. She did this really terrible video on Instagram where she was cooking French toast. It looked like shit, and it was a lot of fun to talk about that.
And I think there's a huge difference with Amber because we're talking about legalities and abuse here. We're not talking about she said something we didn't like. And I think that's and I stepped back from the Johnny case just a bit because it is daunting. It is very, I don't know if depressing is the word, but it's really hard to see somebody's life ripped away and be able to look at it from a female's perspective. So I cover the main stuff still, but like it is daunting. It is hard. And it's like at some point you just want to talk about, want to, even if you're making fun of her for French toast, we know in the back of our head you wouldn't be making fun of her for fucking French toast if it wasn't for what she's done.
Exactly. And that ties into the that kind of shit draws the line between cancel culture and actually genuinely, holding someone accountable for being an awful person. Because I've heard so many people say, well, this is cancel culture. I'm like, this is not cancel culture though. Amber is a domestic abuser. I mean, she's a violent individual who injures people without caring. Like, she's not sorry for it, and that's the problem. She's beyond redemption. It's not cancel culture.
She's not someone that, oh my God, has a different political opinion than me, so they must be over. Totally different.
Exactly. And speaking of politics, have you ever seen the stupid stuff she puts on Twitter? Like, she's basically people will call it fake woke, which I think she is. She put some tweet out about, remember the nannies and stuff with the ICE stuff, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh my God, when she was like, said something about closing the border, and she's like, check on your nannies or check on your gardeners. It was super racist.
It was awful, and I'm not laughing because I think it's funny. I'm laughing because I think it's funny and how stupid and blindly racist it was. Yeah,
it was. And then she puts out, like, she does stuff for Trans Awareness Day and by Visibility Day. She'll do these things. It's like, dude, you were just saying that people that were immigrants are all gardeners. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Exactly. And I saw a tweet the other day. I'll show it to you after the stream, or I'll email it to you. And it reminded me of Amber. It basically said, we should not allow, and I'm laughing because it's stupid, we shouldn't allow a certain group of people, I'll put it that way, to have a say in certain things because they don't make the right decisions. And they were basically saying that based on someone's race, they're not allowed to speak for themselves, and that and that, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? They were actually they were a very woke person who was trying really hard to make an intelligent point that they weren't making, and that reminded me of Amber.
Yeah, that's exactly what it reminded me of. That is ridiculous. Basically, it was like, black people can't vote? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Yeah. You must be an Amber stan.
Okay, did you see that too?
Yes, I did.
Okay, I didn't know if you did. Okay.
It was insane.
So bad. Like, I could not believe it.
Oh, it was so funny. But we're going to wrap up, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Soup. You got to come back on sooner because you're so fun to talk to.
Yes, you're fun to talk to. We had a lot of good conversations. We'll have to have a stream where we can just, anything goes. We'll just talk about everything.
That's right. That'll be fun. That'll be super fun. So thank you guys all for coming by. Both streams, both. Dr. Soup and on my stream. We appreciate it. And make sure you check out Dr. Soup's upcoming video when it comes to the Manson stuff.
Yes.
And later on tonight, I will have Comics Elite and Marriott Michaels, the second person to draw Deadpool. Yes, he will be here. And we will be having some surprises for you.
I'll be there. I'll be in the stream.
Yay! All right, see you guys later. Is there anything else you want to add before we go, Dr. Soup? I'm sorry.
No worries. That was basically it. Thanks for promoting the video. Yeah, thank you everybody just for being here. It's been a really fun stream, and yeah, hopefully we'll definitely be doing some more streams soon.
Definitely. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.
Bye.